You all set, Olivia?
Jamie, did you give me permission to record?
Waiting for you to load in. I may not have remembered by the time.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Yeah, I'm recording now.
Hey. Good evening. My name is Peter Basserman. I am chairman of Branford's Inland Wetland Commission. I will now open the regularly scheduled meeting of that commission. Today is May 14th, 2026. This evening's meeting will be conducted as a virtual meeting using the Zoom software conferencing platform. It's being held in accordance with Connecticut Public Act 22-3 and the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses regulations of the town of Branford. Documents referenced during this meeting are available in town's OpenGov portal or via the agency's webpage. Final agenda for tonight's meeting was filed on May 12th and is posted on the town's website. Links to the material related to tonight's meeting are included on tonight's agenda. Branford Community Television is recording this evening's meeting for public consumption. As a reminder for those speaking at tonight's proceedings, please be conscious of positioning your camera so that the face is visible when the recording is on. Also, to ensure a complete and accurate record, please announce your name and affiliation when speaking. Before articulating any comment, those wishing to speak can use the raise your hand feature that's available on the Zoom platform, and maybe mute the microphone when you're not speaking to avoid any conflicts. This commission has the responsibility and authority to apply the Connecticut statutes and Branford's Inland Wetlands and Watercourses regulations to the matters it considers. This commission's role is limited to the protection, preservation, and regulation of inland wetlands and watercourses and any land use activities that would likely have a significantly adverse impact on them. This commission cannot consider matters outside of those areas defined in our regulation and seeks to apply those regulations consistently and uniformly in its considerations. We'll now take a roll call of the commissioners on this evening's call. Commissioner Mirsky.
Commissioner Mirsky, aye.
Commissioner Golkowski.
Commissioner Golkowski, present.
And Commissioner Papatonis.
Commissioner Papatonis, present.
Commissioner Begeman.
Commissioner Begeman, present.
Commissioner Armstrong.
Armstrong, present.
Commissioner Boda.
Commissioner Boda, present.
Commissioner Basserman, present. We have a full house tonight. We're all seated and able to vote. And now in the wetland staff, Acting Director Frederick.
Present.
Environmental Associate Sandberg.
Present.
And Zoning and Wetlands Enforcement Officer Gwinnell.
Present.
Okay, if there is there any commissioner seated this evening that feels that they cannot proceed with tonight's proceeding in a fair and equitable manner?
Commissioner Basserman, this is Commissioner Golkowski. I just want to state for the record that I had the opportunity to review the last meeting that I missed from the April 23rd. And so I'm ready to act on any information that's regarding that particular meeting.
Thank you for the time took to do that.
Commissioner Papatonis, I also reviewed the meeting from the last minutes. I watched the entire video.
Appreciate that. Any staff changes to the agenda?
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. I think I'm going to recommend that we table 509-545 East Main Street in 612 Business Park, but I don't know if you want to give the applicant.
Yeah, we'll wait till we get to that item. Okay. Approval of the minutes. We have 2 minutes to approve. First up is the April 23rd regular meeting minutes. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes of April 23rd.
Commissioner Mirsky, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 23rd. Commissioner Begeman will second.
Any further discussion? Okay, regarding the minutes of April 23rd, we'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Golkowski.
Commissioner Golkowski, aye.
Commissioner Boda.
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Armstrong,
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Commissioner Mirsky,
Commissioner Mirsky, aye.
Commissioner Begeman,
Commissioner Begeman, aye.
Commissioner Papatonis,
Commissioner Papantonis, aye.
Commissioner Basserman, aye. Next up is the May 6th special meeting minutes, the site walk for inland wetland 26-9. Pardon me,
Commissioner Armstrong, I
26-14.
move to approve the minutes of the May 6th special meeting site walk.
This is Commissioner Begeman, I'll second.
Okay, another roll call. Commissioner Armstrong, how do you vote?
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Commissioner Boda,
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Papatonis,
Commissioner Papantonis, I wasn't there. I abstain.
Commissioner Begeman,
Commissioner Begeman, aye.
Commissioner Mirsky,
Commissioner Mirsky, aye.
Commissioner Goklowski.
Commissioner Goklowski, I'm going to abstain since I was not at the site walk.
Okay. We have a full agenda tonight, so we're going to try to move this along this evening. First up, we have inland wetland 26-9, 187 Cherry Hill Road Extension, construction of a single-family home, pool, and grading and earthwork, which was continued from our April 9th meeting. This Commissioner Basserman, when I looked at the record, I guess the only thing that's been added is the site plan. So is there someone here that can just go over the changes since the April 9th meeting and screen share that site plan?
Good evening. My name is Romeo Valentin. I'm the project engineer with Giuliano Associates. Going to share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah, a little louder if you could.
Okay, so just to go over everything real quick, we have our dwelling here, 4,900 square feet. The roof is going to our first Coltech system, which will go partly into our catch basin and partly drain to grade on site. We have our pool to the rear of the site with a pool house and patio. This will drain to a second Coltech system, which will drain to grade on site. Since the last meeting, I have added the temporary stockpile with a double row of silt fence or reinforced with straw bales. And I've included the single row of native shrubs to prevent the owners from going any closer to the wetlands, which are off-site here. I don't know if you want me to go into detail of any other parts, but that's the only thing that's changed. So,
This is Commissioner Basserman. Those are the only changes, the stockpile and the trees, the shrubs?
correct.
Does any commissioner feel that they need to hear about anything else regarding the site and the application as it's been presented? Jamie, I think you prepared a site, a staff report for this.
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. I'll give credit to Olivia. She did the heavy lift on the updates to the staff report. But we did touch base on it. Essentially, it stands much the same as the last, except highlighting the things that were just mentioned and also adding a possible condition for consideration prior to the start of site work and scheduling the pre-construction meeting. Infiltration testing shall be conducted and a summary of results submitted to the IW office to confirm whether design assumptions will be met. If design assumptions are not met, revised stormwater management plans must be submitted for review.
This is Commissioner Basserman. Can you post that, screen share that section?
Sure.
This is Commissioner Boda. So is that not what they were supposed to have for us for this evening?
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. So that was something that the commission did request at the last meeting, in addition to the addition of shrubs and or signs at the limits of disturbance. So the applicant raised concerns relative to their timeline with getting the test pits done now. So I suggested that I could revise some language that we had used on other sites in the subdivision for the commission's consideration this evening. And that's the language that I came up with.
Okay, perhaps Mr. Valentine can speak to what the. This is not typically something that is after the fact. I mean, it's part of the application.
It's very common to do soil testing and infiltration testing at the time of construction. And especially in this case, as I mentioned in the previous meeting, we used very conservative values. And since we've done so, we're pretty
Sorry,
sure
Mr.
that
Valentine, can you hold on a second? There's some.
I'm gonna mute Tony.
Yeah, thank you.
So since we've used conservative numbers in our calculations, we feel that our design is well, it's on the conservative side, so we think that it would work fairly well. However, with the language of doing the soil testing at the time of construction, it allows them to be using the material, the machinery that they'd be using for the project itself already in once. And if the infiltration tests wouldn't come out, if they came out somehow worse than what we included in our calculations, then we would have to redesign these systems and provide our analysis. So since they weren't prepared to do the soil testing and infiltration test right now, they asked that we add that as a condition of approval.
And this is Commissioner Boda. And so this condition, if the numbers do not turn out the way that you're assuming that they're turning, that you're predicting that they will turn out, then you need to come back.
So we would redesign the system using the more using the values from the actual tests, and that will tell us if our system still works or not. And if it does not, then we would redesign the Coltech systems to be larger systems or a different model to be able to handle the amount of the infiltration rate that we come up with. However, I've used a 0.1 cubic feet per inches per hour, sorry, which is basically 0. So it's a very, very low, very conservative value. So, but yes, if the values were to come out less than 0.1 inches per hour, we would redesign the Coltech systems to handle the increase and the slower infiltration rate.
But you would not, this is Commissioner Boda, you would not come back for a revision to the permit. You would act under the permit in collaboration with.
We would provide our values, our new analysis to Jamie, so she can see that, likely we would have to include a larger infiltration system. So our Coltech system would probably have to be larger. And so let's say we had to add 2 units to the Coltech system, then we would show this is our larger system. It wouldn't change anything in terms of disruption to the wetlands. So it'd be 2 underground units added, or whatever it would need to that system, and we would just be showing what it is that works with the new infiltration rate.
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. The condition doesn't specify whether the review is by staff or the commission. It could be specified either way.
This is Commissioner Basserman. Jamie, can you post that section again of the staff report so that we can pay particular attention to the words? and I guess that raises a process question for me, this Commissioner Basserman. Have we had this as a condition of approval previously in other applications?
We have, I think considerations are the proximity of the activity to the wetland, and the assumed infiltration rate. So if they were assuming a high infiltration rate, we would definitely want testing to make sure that that was something that they could potentially do. We'd want it before we, proceeded. So the question for the commission, considering whether you're okay with the condition of approval, is essentially if you're comfortable with the fact that they can in some way get to where they say they're going to be. I don't think it would be inconsistent for the commission to go either way. I think relative to this neighborhood, it would be very consistent to approve it as a condition of approval. And I think also another thing to keep in mind is the shrubs are approximately 60 feet from the wetlands. The outflow of the stormwater system is pretty much at that point. So it still has 60 feet of surface flow before it gets to the wetland. And that's through a vegetated area, mostly not maintained as lawn. In the 100-foot upland review area, essentially goes through the pool house and the pool. The house and driveway, while they of course are pitched to flow to the back and towards the wetland, are outside of the standard 100-foot upland review area.
This is Commissioner Mirsky. I just have a question of clarification. I apologize if it was asked previously, although I don't remember. I'm just not sure I understand the timing of the testing. I know we're discussing that now, but I understand, Jamie, you're saying we could add this condition. It can go either way in terms of the timing, but I'm not sure I understand if agreeing to the condition as it's the suggested drafting appears on what was on the screen a moment ago, if that if it's really harmful in some way. I'm not sure that it is. I just don't have enough knowledge to understand, although it sounds like we can go either way from what you're saying. I don't know if you can provide further clarification or not.
So I think what it really comes down to is whether or not the commission feels that knowing the infiltration rate is essential to issuing a permit. If it is, then it shouldn't be a condition of approval. If the commission is comfortable with the presentation that the project engineer has provided, and the fact that, if this doesn't work, that an alternative plan can be met, they certainly have the space to add more system on the site. Then I think it would be fine to proceed with a condition of approval.
This is Commissioner Begemon. I feel like it's fine to approve it as a condition with the condition of approval, given that with the calculations that they've used and that it says that if it doesn't, that they have to come back if it doesn't perk if it perks, at less than what the calculations say.
Well, this is Commissioner Boda. Are you, Commissioner Begeman, are you thinking then that the condition is that they come back to the commission or that they coordinate with Jamie? Because that was one of my earlier questions where I think that my understanding from the engineer is they were just going to do it versus coming back to the commission or coordinating with Jamie. That for them, they weren't necessarily going to bring it back to the commission unless we put that forward as what needed to happen.
This Commissioner Begemon, I would think that Jane could evaluate whether it needs to come to the commission or not. Based on the perk test that she reviews.
So we could further specify in this last sentence, must be submitted for review by the agency or its duly authorized agent, which kind of provides some flexibility. And we could also specify submitted for review and approval.
This Commissioner Begemon, I think it makes sense that it gets approved, reviewed and approved. By the commission or the duly authorized agent.
Is Commissioner Basserman, Commissioner Boda, with the suggestion that it be reviewed and approved by the commission or its duly authorized agent, does that get you over the hump, or is that still
Yeah.
not what you're after here?
No, I think that that's fine. I think, and then I think it will be good to just make sure that there is I can't remember if there was an as-built that is tied with this as well, just to make sure that whatever final end product is in the ground is what is represented.
Give me 1 minute and I can show you some draft language. It looks like that did not make it into the recommended conditions.
Yeah, so why don't we add that? Especially if there's some possible changes.
Oops, that's not. All right, so this is the standard language we have. A licensed surveyor shall. So this is identifying the field location of everything, and then also after completion, submit an as-built.
Yeah.
So that can be added. Is condition number 5. Is anyone reading it?
Commissioner Basserman, what's happening? Are we trying to add language to the staff report?
This is a PDF. I can't add it directly into it, but this would be my recommendation for
Oh, okay.
number
Gotcha.
5.
This is Commissioner Basserman, does that close the loop in terms of the discussion we've had for the last 10, 15? Does that work for the commission?
Seems
Yes.
that way.
This is Commissioner Goklowski, and I agree with the changes that are put forth.
It's Commissioner Papantonis. What were the plantings going to be?
We just
The
have it listed as
planting-
native shrub.
Plan
Okay.
is open-ended.
Do we have anything, Commissioner Papantonis again, do we have anything about a 3 or 5 year survival to check on that since we're agreeing to plantings instead of signage?
There's nothing in the staff report. If the commission feels it's appropriate, we could add something. The plantings are a decent distance from the wetlands, so I would recommend a reduce. The commission has reduced to 3 years typically in this type of a situation.
This is Commissioner Begman, just a question about that. These plants are actually a boundary. They're not in the wetlands, so we need to have the 3 to 5 year?
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. Sometimes the commission does require monitoring for plantings outside of a wetland, especially if they're relative to a storm system, such as a rain garden. And then sometimes the commission has wanted to see something for like this, like a buffer, like a limit of activity planting. In that case, usually it's not monitoring so much as a planting inspection. So the wetland enforcement officer would go out and review that the plants they said would be there are there and that they generally have 85% survival. Since it's a linear planting, we don't really need a professional to tell us if those plants are there. It's just if the commission felt something was warranted, I would suggest that plant inspections shall be completed for 3 years, demonstrating at least 85% survival. Granted, the commission might want to also start that condition with, here, let me just type it out. Planting plan shall be submitted for review and approval by, I think this one can be by the duly authorized agent. Just so that we can confirm that it is in fact a native plant. Prior to planting, plants shall be inspected for, I think the commission has done 2 and 3. I'm going to put 3. We can do what the commission feels is right. 3 growing seasons. With at least 85% survival. This would be 5. This would be 6. plants shall be inspected. You can leave it open-ended. It can either be by the wetland agent, or if they want to pay for a professional to do a report, that would be fine too.
Any other, this is Commissioner Bassman, any other additions to the conditions for approval? Is there a motion waiting in the wings?
This is Commissioner Begman with one thing. On number 4, weren't you going to add for submitted for review and approval? You can't add that into the staff report as we go? No.
No, because the staff report I pulled up is a Word doc.
Okay,
Or is
okay.
not a Word document. So, but I can do submitted for review and approval by the commission
Or duly authorized agent.
or its duly.
Okay, this is Commissioner Begman. I'll make a motion that we approve in the wetlands. I think it's 26-9, 187 Cherry Hill extension. With the, according to the staff report prepared for 5/8 on 5/8/26 for 5/14/26. With the amendments to condition number 4 and with 2 additional conditions, number 5, an as-built survey, and number 6, regarding the planting plan as drafted during the meeting by Jamie Frederick on 5/14/26 and shared with the commission, with the standard conditions and general provisions of all permits.
This is Commissioner Murski. I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? Commissioner Goklowski, how do you vote?
Commissioner Goklowski, aye.
Commissioner Boda?
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Armstrong?
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Commissioner Murski?
Commissioner Murski, aye.
Commissioner Begeman?
Commissioner Begman, aye.
Commissioner Papantonis?
Commissioner Papantonis, aye.
Commissioner Basserman, aye. Okay,
Thank you all. Have a good night.
you too. Next up, Inland Wetland 2614, 509, 545 East Main Street, 6 to 12 Business Park Drive, the installation of a swale. Continued from our May 6th special site walk. As Jamie noted when we were discussing the agenda, there was a very late email on this item an hour before the meeting, and it raises some questions that the engineer would need to address, and he is not present this evening. So I think the recommendation, I think this is going to require a vote. Recommendation is to table this until the next meeting when staff has had an opportunity to review the late email and the engineer to be present.
Mr. Trinkus is he could participate through telephone right now. I just messaged him.
Except staff has not had a chance. It came in at 5:44.
So
I'm unfamiliar with this email.
One minute. Yeah, Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. So I was informed that Trinkus may not be able to. I was under the impression he was not going to be able to attend. And then I did receive correspondence from Jeffrey Brown from Ty Bond, which I've not had a chance to look at. expressing some concerns, and I don't, I'm I don't know how you want to proceed, Chair, given the change in information
Well,
again.
Yeah, my recommendation is we table this. It's going to need a vote from the commission to do that.
This is Commissioner Boda. I'd like to make a motion that we table BR. Oh, wait, is that the right one? No, hold on. Where'd it go? I'm in the wrong meeting minutes. Sorry. I just lost the agenda. Inland Wetland 2614, 509 to 545 East Main Street, and 6 to 12 Business Park Drive, until our next regularly scheduled meeting, that May 28th,
Yes.
to the next regularly scheduled meeting of May 28th. And we're doing that because we've gotten information just this evening, and we need to be able to be prepared for to meet the requirements for the meeting.
So there's a motion on the table. Is there a second?
This is Commissioner Goklowski. I thoroughly agree postponing this matter until the next scheduled meeting.
We'll take a vote. Commissioner Armstrong,
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Commissioner Papantonis,
Commissioner Papantonis, aye.
Commissioner Begeman,
Commissioner Begeman, aye.
Commissioner Boda,
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Mirsky,
Fumersky, aye.
Commissioner Basserman, aye. Commissioner Goklowski.
Aye.
Okay.
Chairman, if someone could circulate that email,
Absolutely. I'll get it out tomorrow
I did hear.
morning.
We had no idea that there was any such email. And Mr. Trinkus can review it as well. So
Sure.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yep. Thank you. We have an application for receipt in the Woodland 26-16, 850 West Main Street. Given the fact that it's for receipt this evening and the full agenda, we're going to move on to enforcement. Cease and correct 25-1201, 23 to 33 School Ground Road, the removal of vegetation adjacent to water course and filling and grading within upland review area without a permit. This is a show cause hearing that's continued from March 13th. I think there's some additional information. Jamie, can you bring us up to speed here?
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. So we did receive some more information. We have a partial survey of the property of the area that the commission was interested in. We have a plan submitted by George Logan. I know George Logan had a conflict later in the evening. I'm not sure if it's early enough that he's able to join us. I don't think I see him on the call.
Michael Leone for the respondent. No, unfortunately, he only had the first 35 minutes, and now we're at 39.
So I do still think we want to take at least a quick look at the information that's been submitted, so that if the commission has questions that maybe need some time to respond to, they can be working on that. So give me a minute to pull up the Dropbox.
If I may, once again, Mike Leone for respondent. As you probably all remember, one of the things that you were looking for was a survey of the area. We're able to obtain it to survey, and we have uploaded that, or we've provided it to the Inland Wetland Office. We've also uploaded an updated report from Mr. Logan, who unfortunately cannot be here today, with his suggestions. And then finally, we uploaded a proposed planting plan for the top of the area at issue to deal with the erosion. You'll note in the reports, but they speak for themselves, that the area is stable and is not eroding. There is a proposal to put together create an additional wetland for about 680 feet All of that said, we did receive which is part of the record as well, and thank you for your staff for forwarding it to us because we still haven't received it in person, a letter from the town engineering department. They now have some questions, concerns, and stuff that they would like addressed as well. So we will be working on. That was only issued on Tuesday, so we haven't had a chance to address that, and we're going to try with the commission's permission. We'd like to try to address both the town engineer's concerns as well as yours in one plan.
Sounds like a plan. We need a motion to continue this, Jamie?
Well, I think she was
Jamie,
looking to show you what we've proposed, if you would like to see it.
Yeah, let's take a quick look, so that way, again, like I said, if you have any outstanding concerns, they can kind of be expressed, and it might just be that we take a quick look and the commission says, okay, we'll look at it in more detail and let staff know if we have questions or concerns. But so we do have the survey. This is the patio area with the gazebo, the fill slope, the wetland adjacent to the Branford River. So we have a pipe that's conveying drainage from up top of this leveled area down to what is the wetland area. It is demonstrated that part of the wetland has been filled. I'm going to jump over. Here's a picture. This is that fill slope off to the side, the wetland area and the Branford River. And essentially, they're proposing to create 680 square feet of wetland adjacent to the wetland pocket to offset the impacts of the fill. I'm going to jump back to the survey. So what the engineer's letter pertained to is any fill material within this floodway zone AE. Essentially, there's restrictions on the placement of fill within the floodway. So it's possible that as part of the resolution to that, some of that fill material is going to have to be removed from the floodway. So it might be that while they're currently not proposing any changes to the slope, that may be necessary for other jurisdictions. So I think that's part of what Attorney Leon was talking about and trying to have one plan, which I think is another reason to potentially continue this so that way they can look at and we can be reviewing something that's not going to change. The planting plan is included in George Logan's letter. So with that high overview, do any of the commissioners have any questions or feedback before I hand it over to Leone for final comments? If you have any questions or comments that come up while you're looking at the materials, feel free to email staff and we'll forward it on to the parties.
This Commissioner Vigon, just a question. Is that new created wetland, are people going to be walking down in that? Or is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Michael Leone for the respondent. No, I mean, people potentially could. We can't stop trespassers, but no, it's not a planned area that anybody from Woodwinds would be using. It's down the slope near the river, right across from the tow truck place. So, no, it wouldn't. Also, the planting plan, which which I'm sure we'll discuss further in the future. One of the unique features of it, it's going to be all low plantings because unfortunately what kind of set this whole thing off, and I'm sure the folks that work in inland wetlands enforcement will can fill you in more on this, is that Eversource came in and cut down everything in this area. So all the everything you see that has been cleared down there was not cleared by us. The fill was put in by us, and we admit it, and we're looking to resolve it. And the grass has stabilized it well, and it isn't seeping into the wetlands. So because I believe, and do not hold me to this, anything over 6 feet, Eversource reserves the right to come in and clear cut. So we're trying to put in, our planting plan is proposing species that will be under 6 feet and will, so that won't require Eversource to come in and clear cut again.
Thank you.
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. Yes, I can support the fact that Eversource definitely did tree removal a year or two ago in this area. You can kind of see one of the power line poles right here. It does go right through that area. So definitely a consideration with the planting plan.
Commissioner Basserman, is there a motion on the table to regarding cease and correct 25-12-.01 to table that until our March 28th meeting? Pardon me, May 28th meeting?
This is Commissioner Goklowski. I move that we table inland wetlands 25-12-01, 22-33 School Ground Road to our next scheduled meeting.
Commissioner Papantonis, second.
Any further discussion? Okay, Commissioner Armstrong?
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Commissioner Boda?
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Papantonis?
Commissioner Papantonis, aye.
Commissioner Begeman?
Commissioner Begman, aye.
Commissioner Mirsky?
Commissioner Mirsky, aye.
Commissioner Goklowski?
Commissioner Goklowski, aye.
Commissioner Basserman, aye. Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
Yep. Cease and correct 260501, 55 Meadowwood Road. Another show cause hearing, the clearing of vegetation in the upland review area. And there's some new pictures. Some of those worth sharing, Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. I'm gonna let Heather Gwinnell take lead on this one.
Okay.
If you want me to screen share, let me know. Otherwise feel free to do so.
Yes, Jamie, since you're already sharing your screen, I'd appreciate if you had those pictures. I put them in the file, I think, already. Heather Gwinnell, in the Wetlands Enforcement. I was driving around and I got a communication that there had been some clearing at the back of this, at the rear of this property toward the wetland area, that they were unsure how far into the wetland area. So I did go and take a look, and they had cleared all the way up to where the wetlands had been delineated. This was a project that did have previous inland wetland permitting for the construction of a house. And so they did have those, that wetland boundary flagged. The homeowner had gotten approvals to remove 2 of the trees that were in danger of falling toward the house. And however, the extent of the clearing went much further, and it was all of it cleared, not just a few trees removed. I did go on site, spoke with the homeowner at that time, as well as the contractors on site, asked them to pause, waiting for this opportunity for them to show cause. They put up silt fencing, and all of the disturbed earth around where the tree cutting had taken place was mulched with some of the wood chips that were already on site. The remaining logs, believe, have been removed since then. The ones you could see in that picture in the foreground.
This is Commissioner Boda. Removed to where?
I'm not sure where the contractor removed them to. Actually, I was out there about a week ago, and I do not recall seeing them there. So if I'm wrong, if they are still on site, the homeowner, I think, is here, and he can probably clarify that.
Yeah, I'm Mark. I'm the homeowner. So there's still a couple there. They had chipped up the ones they took down and spread them for the request that was asked. So they spread most of them, and there's still just a couple that are still on the back of the property there.
The homeowner did indicate, I don't know, Jamie, if you have the plan. The homeowner did indicate on the plan where some of the clearing had taken place. I think that's the one, yes. And so that area toward the back of the house was cleared to the wetland boundary.
And then the drop box, I think it's the first item of 9, kind of shows an aerial visual of it. And there's still, I don't know how many feet, I don't want to guess and be wrong, but before the wetland starts, rows of trees and brush between where we cleared and where the wetlands was flagged. In some areas, it's deeper. Here's the first picture. Yeah, so like to the top of the screen there's, several feet before the wetlands still of trees and brush, and then where some of the other dead trees, where there's still, I don't know how many feet, but some space of trees and brush before the actual wetlands start that was tagged.
The homeowner did reply to a question about what the plan was and, what the intention was at the beginning. And he indicated he was clearing the area out and intended to plant seed, unspecified.
This is Commissioner Boda. That would actually be my question, is what is it that you are proposing other than to restore and come in with a full application? So we have regulations in the town, and I'm sure now you are more clearly aware of them. We don't create applications for folks. So you would need to propose something, which would also include putting together a restoration plan.
Yeah, so I wasn't aware of doing anything I shouldn't be doing. I know I had met Jamie on site, our last one. There was a few trees that were hazardous, and she said I could take them down because they weren't in the wetlands. And so I just thought anything, as long as I wasn't in the wetlands, which we didn't, that I was okay to remove them. So that was definitely a misunderstanding on my end. I think in one of the emails it mentioned the type of seed that would want to be planted. I can't find it right now. It was in some of the emails we trained them. But yeah, I mean, that was the plan, was just clear the trees that were hazardous and put down some grass seed.
This is Commissioner Boda. So cutting down a tree in a wetland would be cutting the tree and dropping it there, or cutting it to a chest height so that it is safe and not going to cause harm to people or a building, and then leaving it the stump there as it's providing some function, particularly in a wetland area. Depending on the distance to the wetland, I mean, we wouldn't, again, you would need to put in a proposal, but we don't do grass up to and lawn up to wetland. That does have a negative impact on the wetland. So, I mean, you can propose it for sure. You can propose anything you like.
So Jamie,
Okay. So with the, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
Jamie Frederick and the Lion. And so there was definitely at least one tree and maybe a couple of others that we had talked about removing, but this seems fairly extensive and looks like it includes a decent amount of ground disturbance. And we had certainly talked about not disturbing the root systems. So I think the next steps moving forward are typically with the cease and correct order, the commission's looking for the area to be restored like for like with a mitigation plan. So if you're not looking to restore this with woody vegetation and you want to do something else, then I think an application needs to be submitted for the regulated activity that you would like to do. If you're looking to either extend the lawn or put in like an herbaceous meadow or something like that. And if you want to just restore it with trees and shrubs, then that might be something that could just be handled through the cease and correct order. But if you're looking to do something different in that area than what was there previously, an application should be submitted, I think, based on past practice.
Okay, I just did have one question. I know it was mentioned that we don't seed up to the wetlands, but there is still like trees and brush between where we cleared and the wetlands. So does that not suffice for
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent? I don't know if you were on the meeting at the beginning, but we were looking at a 60-foot vegetated area, and the commission was still looking for shrubs to be planted to mark the limits of disturbance. So I certainly think that if you're looking to provide more of a lawn type area, providing some sort of shrub line at the edge to help make sure that you're aware of where the limits of that are, and the commission is confident that we're not going to have a similar situation in the future, would probably be beneficial for their consideration. So typically speaking, the commission doesn't want to see lawn right up to the wetland because it has various impacts from the ways that we manage our lawn, and also because it reduces the shading of the wetlands if you have an open lawn area next to that wetland area. So,
yeah, this is Commissioner Basserman. I would strongly encourage an application for this, given the extent of the disturbance.
This is Commissioner Begemon. Do we know how many living trees were taken down?
I don't want to give you misinformation. I could definitely ask the arborist. I know, I want to say maybe 5 trees and maybe 6, and 3 were like dead, leaning hangers, and then 3 living. I can confirm that.
And this is Commissioner Boda. What do we know what the actual distance is now, or are we estimating the distance of the wetland to the limit of disturbance?
It varies on that picture. So it's the tags are still there, I believe, unless the arborist took them down. But I know they were still there when they were doing the work. They're hard to see now because now it's kind of grown in over the last few weeks. But I can measure. I don't have the distances though.
This is Heather Grinnell, and wetland enforcement officer. When I was there, I observed clearing up to at least one of the tags directly. The person was clearing standing at the tag. The other ones that may be there may be more of a distance, but at least one of them toward the back, it is cleared up to that line.
So I think there's a couple of things. Once you're in the wetland, then you'll certainly be obligated to mitigate any impacts in the wetland. I don't think there's not really a way around that. And the issue around cutting back those trees like that is it tends to invite invasive plants, which become very, very difficult to hold back from those wetlands, and you end up battling with them for years to keep them out of the wetlands. So, and I don't know, looking at this picture, Verity, what is that? What are we seeing? Is that already something? It's beyond the wood chips there. What is that?
Um,
I'm not sure.
I can't see if you can. I'm going to try and expand one.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, given the time of year, yeah, it's I'm sure it's happy to get the extra light, and I'm sure it's gonna be a pain, and it's gonna really flourish. So anyway, I think point being, you're likely gonna end up needing to incorporate a level of mitigation into your plan, whatever it is that you're envisioning. Moving away from the wetland, and I would encourage you to think about putting some distance, quite a bit of distance between you and your home and that wetland, and put some vegetation back, and then think about what the back of your property really needs to look like. And then you would come back and bring something back to us.
So, Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent, would it be fair to say that the commission's looking for a mitigation plan to restore the impacted area? That a wetland scientist should be involved in the creation of that plan. And that if the homeowner wants to extend the lawn at all as part of this process, or at this time, that would be an application for regulated activity to extend the lawn.
This is Commissioner Brown. I would agree with that description, that would be an application. But I would also agree that the homeowner is going to need some technical support from, could be soil scientist, could be ecologist, wetland scientist, somebody, some expert.
So with that understanding, I think I don't want to cut anyone short if anyone wants to add any additional comments and or if the homeowner has questions, but I think the commission needs to consider time frame and what is reasonable. So my recommendation would be that we would continue this to our first meeting in June, which is June 11th. And if the homeowner for some reason is still working with their professional to develop a plan, provide an update for the commission to that effect, and when plan will be ready. If they're not ready, they don't have to come to the meeting, just provide the update and we'll continue it. That would be my recommendation. Of course, I want to make sure everyone gets their immediate questions answered tonight to the extent possible. Any further questions or comments from the commission? Any questions from the homeowner?
This is Commissioner Bassman. So we need a motion to continue this, Jamie, correct?
Sure.
What date did you say? This is Commissioner Boda. What date did you say? June.
11.
This is 55
7?
Meadow.
No.
Yes.
14, huh?
On that.
The meeting is the 11th,
11,
the next, our next meeting.
No.
No, it's the 28th.
It's the 11th.
June 11th, though.
June 11th is the recommendation.
Sorry.
And this is 55 Meadowwood, right?
Yes.
All right, this is Commissioner Boda. I'd like to make a motion that cease and correct 26.050.01 55 Meadowwood be continued to the June 18th meeting, regularly scheduled meeting, where we will look for an update from the homeowner on progress.
What date was that?
June 18th.
No, June 11th.
No, wasn't it the 11th?
June 11th.
It's the 11th.
I said it right the first time, right?
June 11th is the meeting that this is being continued to.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, is there a second on that motion?
This is Commissioner Armstrong. I second the motion.
Commissioner Armstrong seconded the motion. I'll take a vote. Commissioner Gokowski?
Commissioner Gokowski, aye.
Commissioner Mirsky?
Chemerinsky, aye.
Commissioner Begeman?
Commissioner Begman, aye.
Commissioner Papatonis?
Commissioner Papatonis, aye.
Commissioner Boda?
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Armstrong?
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Commissioner Basserman, aye. Okay. Cease and correct 26050217 Door Street. Clearing of vegetation in the upland review area. Seems to be a pattern here. Show cause hearing. This is the initial show cause hearing, Jamie?
And for the record, Michael Leone for the respondent.
Okay, so this is, again, I was made aware that there had been some clearing at the rear of 17 Door Street. Jamie, I don't know if you have those pictures or that location map available. If not, I can pull it up. And so at the rear of 17 Door Street, the rear third of the property, the corner of it, which does have wetlands on it, was cleared, and the homeowner then planted, scattered some grass seed around it. Was made aware that this is an issue. The homeowner has been more than cooperative, and then a similar situation that we requested that he come explain what was cleared, why it was cleared, and what the intended purpose is, and how the property is going to be used, restored, or planted.
Okay, and who is here to talk about 17 Door Street?
That would be me, Attorney Michael Leone, again for the record, for the respondent. Yes, my client did clear in the rear of the property. He cleared primarily brush and shrubbery. He did not, as you can see from the pictures that your enforcement agents were showing, he's left all the mature trees in place. So I know the council always has commission always has a concern about that. So all the mature trees left in place. He did put in seeding in the area. The seeding he put in was a Lesko Parks mix of sunshade, which is a perennial rye, Kentucky bluegrass, and creeping red fescue mix to stabilize the area. I believe the folks that went out and met with us at the property today will state that there's no real erosion going into any wetlands. We are open to having, a planting plan if necessary, but as of right now, nothing's going into the wetlands. As you'll see, most of the clearing had gone up to the side of the property and the back rear of the property, which already has a shed on it on the rear of the property, not his shed, a shed of the neighboring property, and a fence line to the right. The wetlands are delineated on the left side. I believe in the overhead that you saw before, it's delineated showing a purple line of where the wetlands is believed to have been. And then there is, as you can see in the back left corner, that's where the shed is. So it's been cleared back to there. But all of the remaining the trees are all there. The root systems are all in place. There's no intention of taking those down. So that leaves the necessary shading that I know the commission likes. So I was only retained recently, and we only were able to go to the property today. There was a few snafus, but we're open to any suggestions. And I do have my client here, Mr. Bloomquist, as well, if there's any direct questions for him that I can't answer.
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. So this is a aerial image from April of this year. And you can see that some of the recent disturbance. Again, you can kind of see the mature trees. This is from April, so it is before leaf out. These wetland lines that we have delineated in our GIS systems are approximate. They're not precise. So it's not immediately clear whether the wetland area was disturbed in addition to the upland area. I think that would be my first concern. I didn't go out to the site. I'll let Heather speak to the site conditions. From the photos, I can see that erosion wouldn't be my primary concern. I think consistency wise, the commission would want to see probably an after the fact application for any maintained lawn type areas outside of the wetland, and a restoration plan for anything along the wetland edge, and if there was any activity in the wetland to restore that, any remaining impacts from that activity. So that's my high level summary. Heather Brunel, do you have anything you want to add based on your observations out on site?
No, Heather Winnell, Wetlands Enforcement. Yes, Jamie is correct. I don't think that erosion is my primary concern. There's not a significant slope, and the soil that is there does have seed scattered on it, and it is starting to vegetate. And even the roots that, the few roots that were visible from the brush that had been there previously don't appear to have any actual loose soil around them. So it does seem pretty stable, especially considering the sort of lack of slope. Jamie, can you switch back to the photo from today? I think any of them from today will be fine. So you can see that the area that does include the wetlands, which is that rear corner, sort of in a bit of a hook in that rear corner around the trees, that has also been cleared. And prior up to that point, and in the prior photos, you can see that was vegetated. However, I cannot identify what it was vegetated with, if it was largely invasives or if it was largely natural native plants. But I don't know. My recommendation would also be to consider what plants could be used to restore that particular area. And it is common practice to maybe, ideally, we don't want to have the lawn up to the wetland boundary. So whatever the commission thinks is appropriate in that area, I would obviously defer to you.
And again, Michael and Leone for the respondent. We're open to having a planting plan around the edge to make sure that nothing creeps into the wetlands and that there is a clear delineation and to make sure nothing goes in any further. I don't know that, and Miss Miss Quinnell can speak to this as well. I don't think there's much disturbance, if any, in the actual wetlands on the side. I would hate to have a soil scientist come out and do any more. I think a planting plan with whatever species you suggest, or if you'd like us to research it and propose it, we're happy to do that as well.
Mr. Leone, can you just refresh me on what your area of expertise is again?
My area of expertise is I'm a attorney at law that has done inland wetlands and as well as tax appeals and everything as far as a laser burning down your company. So
Okay, so just in terms of plantings and soil and all that kind of stuff, you're the attorney.
I am the attorney. I'm happy to retain an as I have in the prior application, a landscape architect or somebody else to suggest something, but I'm also willing to take the suggestions of this commission, which has made suggestions in the past.
Sure, I understand, but I also, we as a commission, we have conversations, but we do not create applications.
Oh no, I don't expect you to create an application, but if there was certain things, because I know certain of your members have suggested them in other hearings that I've sat in and listened to, of things that they would like to see. So if there's specifically things that you would like to see, we'll make sure they are included in the application.
This is Commissioner Papantonis. Given that we're not really sure where the wetlands are, I'd like to see a wetland delineation. So I think that means a soil scientist.
This is Heather Gwinnell, Wetlands Enforcement. This property does have that wetland delineation from not from this particular homeowner, but from a previous homeowner. It is shown in purple on the near map, which Jamie, I don't know if you can switch over to that, but I'm going to be trying to pull some of these up myself.
So this is Commissioner Papantonis again. So are we sure that that's where the wetlands are?
Yeah, Jamie Frederick, the wetland agent. So to recap, this is an approximate. We take a survey, we georeference it to the best of our abilities and put it in our system. The wetland line's approximate, the property boundary lines are approximate. The flags are long gone, I'm sure, because it was delineated years ago. So really the only way to establish the wetland boundary would be, as Commissioner Papantonis said, to have a wetland scientist go out there and flag it, or theoretically you could have a surveyor go out and mark the flags. But I think it's cheaper and quicker, generally speaking, to have a wetland scientist go out and mark it based on today's features. Wetlands do change a little bit over time, so there may have been some natural shift in the wetlands. So I think if the commission's interested in knowing where the wetland limits are today, having a wetland scientist go out there and flag it would be the best means for finding out that information. I do see that Olivia Sandberg has her hand raised.
Olivia Sandberg, Environmental Associate. I just wanted to point out that I do have a site plan in there from a very long time ago, and there is a note, I believe it says that it was marked, the wetland delineation was marked in 2003. I couldn't find a soil report though.
Yeah, that is correct. Thank you. So it's 23 years ago. So I think generally speaking, the commission would be looking for wetland delineation to see what the extent of the recent activities are relative to that wetland area, restoration of any impacted wetland area if there is any, and probably planting of shrubs around the limits of the wetland to help ensure that they're protected and have a vegetative buffer. It is good that the mature trees were not removed, so that shade canopy has not been impacted. But the commission still generally wants to see some sort of vegetative buffer to help filter out any impacts from lawn maintenance and yard activities. So I think those would be my thoughts on the topic.
It's Commissioner Basserman. Jamie, can you put up the picture? The previous picture, which had the purple delineation on it. Now, I noticed up in that left corner, you moved it up. Yeah, there's a delineation up there. The two are not connected at all?
Oh, this?
No, well, I see that, and then up in the top left corner.
Yeah, so there's tidal wetlands off to the west. And there's a lot of fringe inland wetland pockets. And so I don't think that this is hydrologically connected to this. But I could be wrong.
Oh.
We don't have anything over here, but I think this kind of connects over this way. And that connects over that way, and they kind of feed into the tidal wetland area.
Okay.
Heather Grinnell, Wetlands Enforcement. I think I can pull up a similar near map that we can get a slightly larger image on it.
We can also get that for the next meeting. So we have a document we can add to the file.
Yes.
Olivia?
Olivia Sandberg, Environmental Associate. I believe I put a contour map in there as well, so I don't know if the commission would like to take a look at that.
Sure.
You can see a little bit more here. The wetland on the site, I think, again, is connected to this wetland complex. And then the tidal wetlands are over here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it because you could see the person.
I can
Gotcha.
if you'd like, I can share my screen if
Let's
move on. Okay.
hold off and do that for the next meeting.
Okay.
So is this like you given an application and a wetland scientist involvement is in it? Is this also one that should be tabled until the June 11th meeting?
I think after clear guidance has been provided on what you're expecting for that June 11th meeting. And I'd probably recommend continuing it to the June.
Well, this is Commissioner Basserman. Commissioner Papatotis would like to see, I guess, the delineation done currently instead of something 23 years ago.
This is Commissioner Papantonis. I mean, I suppose we could accept what's there. I mean, still a fair amount of restoration. I don't know how the rest of the commissioners feel about it, but it is 23 years.
Michael Leone for the respondent. If we would like me to get a soil scientist, we will engage one. I had Mr. Logan earlier today, and if we're back again from Mr. Supa and the School Ground Road application, maybe we can do two birds with one stone. But I leave that to your discretion.
Jamie Frederick and the Wetland Agent, are you suggesting that you'd be requesting continuance to the May 28th meeting instead of June 11th?
No, I would suggest, I guess it would be the June 11th meeting, because I need to make sure, as he's not here tonight, that I give him enough time. I'd like to have it both at the same night, but I don't want to limit him to getting out there in 2 weeks.
Understood.
Commissioner Bassman, anything else from the commission in terms of what we're expecting on June 11th from the applicant? Heather, anything that you would like to see incorporated in the next time we review 17 Door Street?
Heather Gwinnell, Wetlands Enforcement. No, I would say that if you're going to get an updated delineation, that seems to be a good starting point. And then if does it make sense for them to also presume that they acquire or put together some kind of a restoration plan, which kind of plants and the type of plant and the locations that they would want, presuming that this delineation that we currently have is fairly close. They can sort of start on that and present that. That might be my only thought, because it is planting season to some degree. We want to kind of give things a chance to get rooted.
Yeah. And this Commissioner Papantonis again, I thought I had said planting plan, but maybe I didn't.
Jamie Frederick and the Wetland Agent, just as a point of clarification, in addition to a wetland delineation and planting plan, would the commission be looking for an after the fact application for the expansion of lawn? Assuming that they're looking to keep the maintained area.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Boda, yes.
So if that could be submitted at least the day prior to the June 11th meeting, if you've already seen, or if you want to get that application submitted by May 27th, then it would be actionable June 11th.
Heather Gwinnell, Wetlands Enforcement. Mr. Leone, do you think that your client would be able to submit that application for the expansion of the lawn before?
I think we can leave that open-ended for them.
Okay.
Yeah, it really will depend on, our ability to get the soil scientist out there, because I don't know that I don't, as you can see from me having appeared before this body before, I don't like bringing piecemeal stuff. I'd rather bring it all to you at once and get you what you want. So I will do my best to have it by the 27th, and I'll work with your office to try to get that accomplished.
Okay, this is Commissioner Basserman. So we have CISA Correct 260502. We're going to show cause hearing that we're going to continue until the June 11th meeting. Do we have a motion regarding that?
This is Commissioner Goklowski. I move that we table CC 260502, 17 Door Street, until the June 11th meeting, giving the property owner proper time to complete an application and any other necessary information for this project.
We have a second?
This is Commissioner Papantonis, second.
Any amendments or discussion regarding that motion?
This is Commissioner Papantonis. Commissioner Golkowski, would you consider a friendly amendment to add to allow the applicant to get a soil scientist and a planting plan in place for restoration?
I believe that was part of the discussion when we were discussing it, but I will be more than glad to add it. Regarding to inland wetlands 260502, the property owner engage in a soil scientist and a planting plan when the application is submitted to the Inland Wetlands Office.
Commissioner Papantonis, second.
Okay, we'll take a vote. Commissioner Boda?
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Armstrong?
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Commissioner Golkowski?
You're muted.
You're muted, David. Commissioner Golkowski?
Commissioner Golkowski, aye.
Commissioner Mirsky?
Commissioner Mirsky, aye.
Commissioner Begeman?
Commissioner Begman, aye.
Commissioner Papantonis?
Commissioner Papantonis, aye.
Commissioner Basserman, aye. See you on the 11th. You're going to be a busy guy between now and then, huh?
We will do our best. Thank you very much.
CISA Correct 020201 and CISA Correct 041001, 44 Tabor. Filling and clearing of vegetation with a 100-foot upland review. There's a request to lift the CISA Correct. I think somebody has been out and visited the site. Jamie, is that correct?
Yes, I'll let Heather Gwinnell take this one as well.
Yes, Heather Gwinnell, Inland Wetlands Enforcement. Yes, so I have been out to the site twice. The first time I went out, the restoration had taken a good part of it, but they didn't actually complete it up to the line. So the second time I went out and I did meet the landscaper on site, we corrected where it needed to go. He came back within the next couple of days, corrected it, put the berm in, and seeded it. I was out 2 days ago. A lot of the first round of the grass and the white birch trees have taken good root, and you'll be able to see them. And the new grass has been sprayed. It seems like it is just starting to sprout. So I feel pretty confident that, given the kind of weather that we've had, that it's going to take root quite well and in that spot. So I feel very confident that this has been brought up to where that original restoration plan had requested it to be, and it looks to be like it's going to take root well and be maintained. I do have some pictures.
So in your assessment, both cease and corrects have been satisfied to the fullest?
Yes, I do believe so. And
Commissioner Bassman, any questions for Heather Gwinnell on these cease and correct orders from the commission? Is there any concern from the commission regarding lifting the cease and corrects? Does somebody want to make a motion to lift cease and correct 0201 and cease and correct 041001?
Commissioner Mirsky, was there a comment? I'm sorry, before I began.
No, I was going to show you a picture, but if it's not necessary, it's not necessary.
Commissioner Mirsky, go ahead.
Okay, just want to make sure there's no other questions. This is Commissioner Mursky. I make a motion to, as to cease and correct 02-0201 and cease and correct 04-10-01 to lift the cease and correct orders as to both applications. I think that's sufficient, correct?
And a second on that?
Commissioner Gokowski, I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion or comment? Okay, Commissioner Gokowski, how do you vote?
Commissioner Gokowski, aye.
Commissioner Mursky?
Mursky, aye.
Commissioner Begeman?
Commissioner Bergman, aye.
Commissioner Papantonis?
Commissioner Papantonis, aye.
Commissioner Boda?
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Armstrong?
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Okay, that cease and correct is hereby lifted.
Commissioner Basserman, you forgot to vote.
Thank you, Commissioner Gokowski. Commissioner Basserman votes yes. Moving right along, I don't think we need to spend any time on agent approvals. Jurisdictional ruling request, jurisdictional ruling inland wetland 261639 Sawmill Road. Removing phragmites by hand and replacing them with wildflowers and a vegetable garden.
Heather Gwinnell, inland wetlands agent, I do see that there was a document uploaded of a project narrative. So I don't know if the applicant is here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, so my name is Michael Dalton, and I would just, my interest in this is to plant two small planting areas for vegetables, kitchen herbs, and they're right along the wetlands, so I know I need approvals for that. I'm trying to, to remove the phragmites in those areas, and to it's just there's just two small areas, about 100 square feet each, and I want to put them where the soil is appropriate for growing vegetables, and I'm just seeking some permission to do that.
Working on pulling up the materials that were uploaded today. Okay.
Yeah, so those are the two areas that I was thinking about, especially the option 2, and that one is this is where the soil is dry enough to be able to effectively grow vegetables and herbs, particularly basil. I make a lot of pesto.
Thank you for everything. Let me just pull up the couple aerial images that'll probably be helpful too. Oh, great. So got the option 1 and 2, or 1 and 2 shown. This is recent aerial imagery, so you can kind of see the area of phragmites in question. The purple line is approximately where the wetland was delineated from when the house was built. So my understanding is you're looking to remove phragmites by hand and then establish a vegetable garden. Are you looking to remove any soil and or import any soil to establish a growing medium?
No, I think the soil is appropriate. I think the soil where those two locations are indicated are adequate for doing what I need it to do. I don't think I need to bring anything in.
This is Commissioner Boda. Are you thinking about incorporating either fertilizers or any kind of herbicide, insecticide?
No, nothing like that. I mean, I just want to remove them by hand. I want to remove the phragmites in those areas by hand, and get the root balls out of there as well. Dispose of those, and I don't even think I'll need to rotor till it, but just kind of use hand tools to make the areas clear and and appropriate for growing just those herbs and vegetables. I mean, the area, I would if I ever also, if I could, I was thinking about putting some plants in that would attract birds and butterflies. If I wasn't, if I ever decided not to plant vegetables in the future.
Thank you.
I apologize. I'm on my phone. I had to work late, and I have a long commute home, so I apologize for that.
Well, this is Commissioner Gopalski. You're not doing the garden for commercial use. It's all for private use.
Yeah. I mean, cooking is a real hobby of mine, and I study a lot of cooking, especially French cooking and Italian cooking, and I make a lot of basil. A lot of pesto, and I freeze it. It takes a lot of basil to do that. I don't know if you're a chef or a cook, but a tremendous amount of basil, and but also thyme, rosemary plant bushes, those types of things. It's all personal use. I have 5 kids, and 4 of them are in their 20s, so it's a big deal just to make a dinner.
This is Commissioner Gopalski again. What is the approximate size of each garden?
I was just thinking 10 by 10, 10 foot by 10, so 100 square feet each.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait, this is Commissioner Boda. Are you proposing them both, or are you proposing one or the other?
I was really liking. I think to be honest with you, I think option 2 is more appropriate for soil wise to grow them anyway. So I would say option 2 is the one I'm really proposing.
This is Commissioner Boda. Jamie, do you want to pull up the section 4?
4.2?
Or
I think we want 4.1A.
4.1.
Grazing, farming, nurseries, gardening, and harvesting crops and creation of farm ponds, 3 acres or less, essential to farming operation, are operations and uses permitted in wetlands or water courses as of right, so long as they don't 1 through 6, which is part of why I was asking about excavation and whether they're excavating soil and bringing soil in, relative to whether there'd be any concern of filling or reclamation of wetlands. But it sounds like they're looking to, while there certainly will be some soil disturbance if they're trying to remove the root mass, given that Phragmites has significant root mass. It seems like they're doing it in the minimal way possible. So I think that the language is there for the commission, and I think that the commission should make clear whether you're approving one or both areas as of right, or whether you need additional information for either of them.
This is Commissioner Bassman. One question. Are these raised beds or in the ground?
I was planning on just in the ground because I don't want to add any soil.
Right.
So those 2 particular locations, both I think would be adequate. I mean, I could do that, in other words, in those spots. Toward the back of it, I don't think that would be feasible, but toward the front of those areas, in those areas themselves, then I think that would be feasible to not have any raised beds.
Commissioner Papantonis, so as I understand what you're saying, option 2 seems to be your preferred area. Thinking about removing the Phragmites in the area that you've labeled option 1?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm asking, if I can do that. Whether I do both or one, I think it just depends on, how things progress. If I had permission to do both, I may actually only do one. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And share language again if the commission wants, or essentially, since we do have some fairly new commissioners, on a jurisdictional ruling request, commission makes a determination whether the activity is as of right, whether all or part of the activity is as of right. If any of the activities deemed not as of right, then a permit would need to be submitted. And if it is determined to be as of right, that means that the commission doesn't have any jurisdiction and cannot condition the activities. So.
This is Commissioner Bodo. Can you just go back to that picture for a second? The purple is that those purple lines is that a water course, or is that indicating a wetland boundary, and that the interior of those two lines is the wetland area?
Correct. In between is the wetland area, and down here with the green line, the southern part of it's titled.
Green line. Oh, I see it.
Oh, sorry, it's very short. Yeah.
No. You know, my screen is slightly bigger, so I'm like zoomed in a little bit on your screen. Okay, I see it now. So, but on what I'm seeing is the left, it almost looks like a driveway. What is that?
Over here?
Yeah.
I think that historically there's been some agricultural use. I'm not really sure.
So over on the left there, so right down the middle where your mouse was there, up at the top there's a vernal pool, and under the road there's a culvert, and the water goes from the vernal pool. Yeah, right up there is a vernal pool. Water goes down under the road there, across Sawmill, and then it goes down and empties into that area on the left of the yellow on my property line. Over past that is land that they actually used to farm. I'm not sure if they're going to plan on farming anymore, but that big light patch right there is a whole bunch of wood chips that my neighbors put there. But yeah, that area over there, they used to farm on it a lot, as recently as last year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So that's what that is. But my property is nowhere near that.
This is Commissioner Basman. Jamie, can you post those 1 through 6s again? I think 4.1. Okay.
So this is Commissioner Boda. I would say that at least and then the upper one, the map, I'm sorry. I know everybody's probably trying to read, but can you just, option 2, and then you can go back to the words. I would say that option 2 certainly falls under that. The as of right for gardening, harvesting of crops, etc. I'm less certain about option 1, but I would be comfortable with option 2.
This is Commissioner Papantonis. I agree with Commissioner Boda.
This is Commissioner Basman. I guess regarding option one, the concern is it's almost fully in the wetland?
Yeah,
Is that?
it would. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to go and look at that word reclamation, and it being 850. I would just need to spend a little. I would just need a minute on that and have a conversation about how that word has been applied. But I would be very comfortable with option number 2.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes any difference. Option one, it's like it's on a slope, and there's mugwort in there, and that's so it's a little higher than down into the wetlands where it flattens out. So there is a little contour right there, but I have no idea if that matters in any way, one way or the other.
There we go.
Reclamation means conversion of wetland to drier land suitable for cultivation or use of other use by means including but not limited to draining, altering the water hydrology that supports the wetland or film.
So they'd have to. So they left it wet and used it for farming. It's okay, but if you dried it out to use it for farming, then it's not okay.
Or filled it.
Or filled it.
But if they're looking to kind of maintain status quo.
Right. So if you did like the cranberry bog, that's fine.
I just want a basil bog.
I don't think the two of those work together.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But that's why I like that spot, because of that contour. That sloped ground is almost like terrace farming.
Yeah. 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 So anyway, this is Commissioner Boda. That's what my brain can come up with tonight.
So it sounds like you're in support of approving option 2 and option 1. You'd want it to come back with maybe a little bit more information.
Yes.
If they wanted to pursue it.
Yeah.
Anyone else have thoughts?
I guess this Commissioner Bassman, that brings up the question of why specifically was option 2 chosen at that exact location? Pardon me, option 1 chosen at that location?
Well, mostly because of that contour, because it's above the where the low point of the wetlands, and so the soil was drier there than it is down below. And I thought, you can't grow some of these herbs in constantly wet soil, and it also has enough sunlight there, gets enough sunlight to allow them to grow and flourish there. So that's the reason why I picked option 1, that particular spot. Far enough from the hickory tree where it gets sunlight, but it's not in the low areas of the wetlands.
Okay. And that is a unique spot on the property?
Yeah, there's not much sunlight on the property. Option 2 gets sunlight a lot, which is what that's why I prefer that one. But I was seeking approval for both so that I could decide, whether it's worth doing both or just sticking with one.
Okay, Olivia, you have your hand up.
Olivia Sandberg, Environmental Associate. The GIS map has contours on it.
Oh, there you go.
I was anticipating one of these would have contours based on your hand being raised.
Well, and this is Commissioner Boda, that aerial, there's no leaves on the trees, and you could see how many trees were on the property.
Yeah, no, right on the left side of that purple line is where option 1 is. So it's right above, it's one contour above, the low area. Sorry, option 1, and option 2 is, pretty far up. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is Commissioner Begma. It seems to me if option 1, there's no plan to get rid of water. It's just a plan to plant things, take out the Phragmites and plant things, or mugwort or whatever's growing there, and plant things without adding soil or, drying it, then wouldn't that be the same as option one? That it wouldn't be reclamation, it would just be getting rid of whatever's growing there and putting in vegetables or herbs.
Frederick and the wetland agent, I would tend to agree. While I said you can't condition a jurisdiction ruling, I think you could have a finding essentially. As long as, with the understanding that the activity will not include reclamation of wetlands. And if there were, then that could potentially end up in an enforcement action. So just making sure that it's very clear you're doing it in the soil as is, essentially. Then yeah, I think that would certainly be an interpretation the commission can move forward with.
This Commissioner Bagman, because then we could be done tonight with that. No one have to come back.
This is Commissioner Bestman. And Jamie, in the past, when we have used reclamation as a key point, if the soil condition didn't change, then we didn't call that reclamation?
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent, I can only think of one other scenario somewhat similar to this in the almost 12 years I've been with the town. And I think in that case, they wanted to bring in soil, so the commission determined it wasn't as of right. So quite frankly, I don't think I have a comparable to this to offer for the commission's consideration. Most of the time when we're looking at agricultural use, it's adjacent to the wetland. It's not directly in the wetland.
Yeah, I think that this is Commissioner Boda. I think that's the part that
I think that a lot of vegetables probably, I don't know. We don't judge. Maybe it'll work great. Maybe they'll love it. I think that the property owner might want to consider what they're planting where as to what its tolerance is to the soil conditions. But historically, a lot of farming's been done in wetland areas. So, give it a shot, try and keep the Phragmites back and see what comes of it.
Well, yeah, that's my plan. This is kind of, I want to see how this season goes and then, go from there. But I definitely don't want to bring in any soil, though. I just want to, get rid of the Phragmites where it is and then just plant the soil that's there.
This is Commissioner Besser. I guess I'm hung up on, I guess, the fact that in one case you're now gardening in the wetland, and by our definitions would seem to suggest that that's okay as an as of right. At the same time, it's doing something in the wetland. And as
So it's
Jamie
against your
noted, we
nature,
really
but
haven't
yeah,
run
no.
across this.
As a point of
Second.
clarification, for commissioners, are items that are outlined in 4.1 are directly per state statute. So, grazing, farming, nurseries, gardening, and harvesting of crops is as of right, including within a wetland, as long as it doesn't do items 1 through 6.
Right.
Yeah. This Commissioner Papantonis, the proposed activity seems to fall right within our regulation and state statute. So as long as, I know we can't put any condition on it, but as long as the activity meets the requirements of the regulation, I think it's okay. And as of right.
This is
Sounds like
Commissioner
somebody-
Armstrong. Could you put up the definition of reclamation again?
It sounds like somebody needs to make a motion.
Oops.
Thank you. Oops.
Mhm.
So the way I read this is that you have to have a conversion of something to have a reclamation per this definition. And if he's not converting anything, adding soil or doing anything else, I don't see how it could fall. His option one would fall under reclamation.
Would you like to make
I'd
a
like to
motion,
make, I'd like to
Commissioner
make a
Armstrong,
motion
on
that
this?
J, where am I? Am I, yeah, I'm not muted. I'd like to make a motion, JRIW 2616 39 Sawmill Road, be identified as of right activity under 4.1.
Commissioner Papantonis, second.
Okay, we'll take a vote. Commissioner Gokowski,
Commissioner Gokowski, aye.
Commissioner Mirsky,
Commissioner Mirsky, aye.
Commissioner Boda,
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Armstrong,
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Commissioner Begeman,
Mr. Bergman, aye.
Commissioner Papatonis,
Commissioner Papantonis, aye.
Commissioner Basserman, aye. Good luck with the basil.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have you over for dinner sometime.
Remember what you
I don't
said.
think Attorney Yanukovych can hear that. We're not supposed to take gifts.
Well, I used to work in the U.S. Congress, and that was the rule there too. So there you go.
No pesto for you. Fair enough.
Okay, we have other business. The pesticide application, usually, comment to these. There's nothing unusual, hopefully, about this one, Jamie.
I didn't notice anything. Its title is, I think, the most unusual thing. Not really within the agency's jurisdiction.
Maybe at this point, like to turn it over to Attorney Yanukovych for item 9B.
Surely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bill Yanukovych, Mayor Sussman, Wallman, Town Attorney. This item is before you as part of a two-step process that began last meeting when we were in executive session for the purposes of discussing the settlement of the matter. In the Dropbox link, staff has put both the draft settlement document and the plan that was also shared during the executive session. Let me try to briefly summarize for you the rationale for approving the settlement. And I would also be happy to suggest a motion to that effect to the extent that the commission would like. So the settlement provides for the removal of the retaining wall, the integrated patio, and the associated fill that were the subject of the permit and appeal. And therefore, what is proposed in the settlement doesn't increase regulated impacts and is expected to reduce or eliminate the upland review area disturbance that was associated with the existing work. In addition, the restoration and removal work shown on the December 11th plan, the site restoration plan, includes temporary soil erosion and sediment controls, installation of straw wattles and sediment barriers before removal, protection of adjacent areas during construction, removal of excavated material from the site, and reestablishment of grades and stabilization with topsoil and sod, as well as final site stabilization. It, in effect, is a request to do exactly what the commission indicated in its various hearings on this matter desired. The settlement in that sense is reasonably consistent, in our opinion, with the purposes of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Act, as well as your regulations. And for those reasons, we would recommend that approving the settlement, subject to implementation of the restoration plan and the erosion and sediment controls, is a settlement that protects wetlands and watercourses and serves the public interest and resolves the appeal as the statute requires in a transparent court-approved process. To the extent that it raises any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. I know staff would as well. I'm also happy to offer you a motion for your consideration to the extent that that's something that would help.
This is Commissioner Basserman. Attorney Anaskovich, question, is staff involvement continuing on this effort?
Yes,
And
as a matter.
would that be a typical activity, or is there anything unusual that we need to be aware of?
No, nothing unusual. I've had conversations with Attorney Shansky, and I would also note for the record that the Norries have retained Attorney Megan Miles to represent them in this matter. There has been an enormous increase in the cooperation between the two parties, and they have cooperated both with each other leading up to the settlement and with staff. So there will be ongoing staff involvement, which they have both embraced. To that extent, there is a cease and correct order that's out there, and my recommendation is that you leave that in place until the work is complete, such that in the event that you have to take further enforcement action, we don't start from square zero. But I don't anticipate, based on the conversations and the plans that have been submitted, that we'll need to go that route. But I think it's better safe than sorry in the event that you do need to take future action.
This is Commissioner Goklowski, Attorney Anaskovich. So from the settlement stipulation consent decree I see here, they're taking down the entire retaining wall, or is it only adjacent to the Norries property?
The entire retaining wall and patio will come down.
Okay.
Jamie Frederick and the wetland agent. Yeah, the entire wall up until this point. I think there was a section of retaining wall already on site that was associated with these steps. So there will be a small section of retaining wall, I believe, to remain. Or maybe that is the whole wall.
Any other
No,
questions?
I think it's, yeah, Jamie, I think it's the whole
I'm sorry.
wall. It's
I'm
the
sorry.
whole wall.
It is
Yeah.
the whole wall. I'm looking at the grading now. I apologize.
This is Commissioner Papantonis. I have a question for Attorney Anaskovich. I missed the last meeting, so I wasn't there for the executive session, even though I watched the entirety of I mean, obviously it wasn't public. So, am I able to vote on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Your participation in the executive session isn't a required element of the being able to act on it.
Thank you.
You said you, Attorney Anaskovich, had a motion that you're willing to suggest?
Happy to. Happy to. I would suggest that a member move to approve the settlement for the reasons that it resolves the pending appeal in a manner consistent with the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Act and the Branford Wetlands Regulations, requires removal of the retaining wall and patio work at issue with erosion and settlement controls and site stabilization as shown on the restoration plan, thereby avoiding any increase in wetlands or watercourses impacts and protecting the public interest.
You don't happen to have that like on the
I do happen to have it, like.
right, hold up, man.
Actually, Jamie, I think you did. Do you have
I
it?
just stopped screen sharing so you can. Oh, do I have it?
This is Commissioner Bergman. Can't somebody just say so moved?
You could. Oops, sorry. Hold on one second. Let me just try and hold on. Copy.
This is Commissioner Goklowski. Are there any plans in place to prevent any erosion of the existing, after the existing retaining wall is taken down?
Jamie, the plan itself, I defer to Jamie on that. I don't,
Yeah, Jamie Frederick and the Wetland Agent. Let me screen share again.
and can I, okay.
Okay, yeah. So I'll verbally speak to it. There are erosion controls proposed while the activity is occurring, and then in lieu of the retaining wall, they're bringing the grade back. So it'll be a slope that'll be stabilized with vegetation. So for long-term stability, it will be through vegetation establishment, and temporary it'll be erosion controls.
Commissioner Gokowski again. Jamie, with your knowledge of the whole situation based on what they're proposing, you think this is the best way for this to come to an end finally?
I think it's a solution that works in everyone's interest, and that will protect the water course and wetland resource to the rear of the site.
Okay, thank you.
This is okay. So this is
You
Commissioner
want it bigger?
Boda. Yeah, this is.
Okay, hold on.
Wait.
No,
you're good. I'm just
okay.
looking at the in the agenda what the case is. So this is Commissioner Boda. I'm gonna make a motion to approve the settlement in the matter of Nori et al. The Branford Inland Wetlands and Water Courses Commission, NNHCV 2461444749S, to approve the settlement for the reasons that it resolves the pending appeal in the manner consistent with Inland Wetland and Water Courses Act and the Branford Wetland Regulation, require removal of the retaining wall, patio work at issue with erosion and sediment controls and site stabilization as shown on restoration plan, thereby avoiding any increase in wetland or water course impacts and protecting the public interest.
This is
And a
Commissioner
second exists hopefully for this?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Gokowski. I'll second that motion.
Assuming no further discussion, we'll take a vote. Commissioner Gokowski, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Mirsky?
Commissioner Mirsky, aye.
Commissioner Begeman?
Commissioner Begeman, aye.
Commissioner Papantonis?
Commissioner Papantonis, aye.
Commissioner Boda?
Commissioner Boda, aye.
Commissioner Armstrong?
Commissioner Armstrong, aye.
Commissioner Basserman, aye.
Okay,
So what are you gonna do with all your free time now?
I wish I had free time. Ask Jamie what we're going to do. We, just so you know, just in terms of procedure, this will now be taken back to the court pursuant to the statutory process. I will sign on behalf of Wetlands. The attorneys will sign on behalf of their respective parties, and it will be brought back and reported to the court. The court will enter the stipulation, and the work can begin.
As a follow-up question, this is Commissioner Bassman, is there a time frame associated with this, Attorney Indisco?
I have learned in over 30 years of practicing law never to guess about when a judge will do what a judge, right, Melissa? Right? What a judge will do, But
there's nothing in this document that illustrates a time frame.
No, I mean, there has been a request to staff for some advance work, given the time of year, and your approval of this. I think there's going to be some discussion about that, because I think everyone's eager to have this work started.
Okay.
Okay.
Correspondence? No correspondence. It's 9:15. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, and good night, everyone. Thank you for participating. See you in
2 weeks.
June.
Good night.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.